Good morning. This is the Breaking and Entering Show. Today's advertising news. My name is Jack Westerkamp.
And I'm Gino Schellenberger. This is Breaking and Entering.
Boom! What's up? How are you feeling, Gino? What a day. We're back in the office, New York City, after 3 weeks in Europe.
Happy National Mac and Cheese Day, Jack.
Thank you. First up, Charlie XCX, marketing linked influencer. She says, truly believe anti-marketing will become a thing soon. Still marketing, but it's just a different approach, more intimate, personal, private, one-on-one, less about the projection of scale. I'm into it. XX, 3.1 million views on X.
Charlie is absolutely correct here. She is crushing it. I'm a big fan now.
You talk about one of the great brands of all time, Charlie XCX, with Brat. So who better to lean in and talk about this?
Let's look at the point here that she made about it should feel personal. Well, here is a study from 2023 from the Journal of Marketing and Management. When audience perceive relationships as overly commercial or exploitative, trust declines and some consumers become active critics. Authentic relationships that are more personal remain effective. So she's right there on making it more personal, Jack. The traditional form of advertising was a megaphone. It was me, the brand, talking to the masses and not accounting for the masses talking back. It's a two-way communication system here. And I think she's talking about that, brands throwing stuff against the wall. Here's my message, and then leave.
Right.
I think she's talking now more of like this intimacy, that two-way communication.
Charlie XCX may not be the biggest fan of the manifesto, perhaps. Like just putting a manifesto out into the world. Charlie XCX, great take. That was topping Charlie XCX. Next story, Gino.
Emmys. We got the Emmy nominations for Outstanding Commercial. There's 6 ads that have made it. I'm looking here. We've got the TBWA one with the backstory, but this was a Super Bowl ad here made by TBWA Shy Day. That's a good one there. That could win.
Yeah, Adidas.
This is the winner.
This is my pick to win.
This is going to win.
The Backyard Legends, Timothy Chalamet, kind of felt like Marty Supreme-esque. The next one, Apple, A Critter Carol. So this one was made practically. TBWA Media Arts Lab on this one, another nominated. What's next, JR? Apple, I'm Not Remarkable. Kim Gerhardt was the director for this one. But this is all about showing Apple's accessibility.
Yeah.
Accessibility features. Next one, Nike Why Do It? A little bit of villain era. We love when Nike leans into the villain era.
They changed the tagline from Just Do It to Why Do It. I believe that was Tyler, the Creator voiceover there. So another powerful one. This one was sick. And then another sick one that just Coinbase Your Way Out by Isle of Any. This took home a couple can lines itself here. They did a great job.
So who you got? Are we in agreement?
Yeah,
Are we thinking Backyard Legends?
Yeah.
I think one that I could see contending is A Critter Carol, just because of how different it is and like the way that they made it. You kind of I feel like you would get some love, if anywhere, from the Emmys around doing something in a completely different way. The entry fee for the Emmys, I'll give everyone 5 seconds to try and guess what they think.
Put in the comments what you think it costs.
What do you think it costs? $125.
That's not. There's no way
to submit to the Emmys. You said when you were in the comms game back at your old agency, you weren't even thinking about submitting something to the Emmys.
Hell no. Hell no.
How could you not? It's cheap. It's $125.
Well, Jack, just because I graduated high school, I'm looking at colleges to apply to. They all cost around $50 to apply to. It doesn't mean I'm applying to Harvard.
Yeah.
But maybe everybody else is thinking the way I'm thinking. They should submit more to this there.
Gino, let's get into the 2-minute drill. It's the biggest deal in the world. People love this. They line up down the block to hear us talk about it. Shinola watches are back.
Shinola watches are back here. It was founded in 2011. They're bringing back one of their original watches that they've made. They're bringing it back here with their first ever brand campaign, like this kind of global brand campaign, if you will. Here, the agency behind it is Gentle Forces, and this is a new agency on my radar, Jack. Here, independent agency founded by Danny Muhammad. I tell you what, when you watch this ad, because there's a video spot, it's a breakup scene essentially, and it doesn't reveal who or what he's breaking up with. I could have swore it was going to be an electronic, digital, like an Apple Watch essentially, but it turns out he was talking to the watch, but it was about the relationship with time.
Tombras, Gino. Tombras continues their hot streak, winning Starkist. It's the tuna, canned tuna, right?
Canned tuna. Charlie first swam on a TV screens in 1961, Jack, and they're going to be leveraging that brand and that Charlie, that mascot here. Fun fact here, Charlie the tuna has been around for 65 years, making it older than Ronald McDonald, the Energizer Bunny, and more brand mascots.
All right, so Tombras gets a win here. Starkist, a brand that I feel like is synonymous with my childhood, but I haven't really heard much of recently. And it sounds like they're going to go back to play on like the nostalgia of this brand mascot, Gino.
Absolutely.
So your thoughts on that? Your thoughts on Tombras gets another win? Tombras kind of like being this.
It's I think Tombras won every piece of the business. Creative, media, social, analytics, digigital, all of it.
This is as AOR as it gets. Yeah. This is old school. You talk about leaning back into look at Dooley. Look at Dooley. Like, you talk about leaning back. What'd you say?
Well, I'm just doing my Dooley.
Up next, wild one here. Rachel Karten plagiarized pretty blatantly by Dentsu and 360i in their new State of Social reports. If you don't know Rachel, she writes one of probably the most popular social media newsletters in the world called Link in Bio. And it came out here that 360i, Dentsu, in their latest report, took it word for word in one of her latest blogs. They take what Matthew Stasoff wrote for her Link in Bio newsletter.
Next up, be advised of a war going on. We have Dunkin' versus Starbucks in the battle of the summer pink drink.
You got the King Kylie Dunkin' drink. Very clear, celebrity-driven kind of thing. We've seen this a million times right now where a celebrity endorses a certain drink for a fast food or a restaurant, whatever. Also, you got Starbucks. Starbucks just came out today, too, with their own pink energy campaign, talking about, the summer of pink and some new lineups, new releases around pink drinks. This was done by American Haiku. The Dunkin' work was done by Artists Equity. What side are you on?
I'm definitely on the Starbucks side. It's not even close, to be honest with you. I think I'm a little over the celebrity borrowed interest playbook here. Let's get a celeb. Let's lose the idea. Let's lose any of the marketing principles we know and love. Let's forget about all of that.
Yeah,
Starbucks got it.
New Facebook Marketplace ad. Sneaky, one of my favorite long-lasting, I guess, through running campaigns the last year-ish from Droga5 Facebook Marketplace. This is a continuation of like Facebook Marketplace. I forget what the tagline is, but it's pretty much like you get more than what you came for with Facebook Marketplace.
The young woman finds her dream pickup truck. She's got to work other jobs, and she eventually gets that truck here. It's kind of following that playbook that we're seeing. Like, you're going to find more. It's basically what you find on Facebook Marketplace is going to get you offline. Right, it's going to give you experiences, and we're seeing that with Pinterest, and we're seeing that kind of with Polaroid as well.
Yeah.
So, once again, Charlie might be right here.
Some more beef, Gino. Sam Altman versus Claude here. So Claude put out a commercial last week. There's hope in hard questions, kind of tackling and addressing the stigmas around AI, the existential dread that people face when they think about AI, and facing it head on through a pretty provocative sort of like imagery. But to me, the story is Sam Altman getting in the mud with them.
He did not like this.
No.
He claimed that he thought this was satire.
Come for the best model, stay because we don't treat you with contempt. And he's done this before.
Yeah.
We saw it when Claude came directly at OpenAI with the Super Bowl commercial, calling out and addressing ChatGPT for putting ads in their chatbot or whatever. And Sam Altman was kind of like, yeah, it's funny, but it's completely false. Because now Claude is like kind of cementing themselves as the moral authority of AI. In that respect, you wouldn't expect the challenger brand to be the one to take that position. Gino, let's move on with the show. It's Craig and Toby, the crew, Code and Theory and Anomaly coming together under the Stagwell roof because they just won IBM's Global Creative account, I believe.
Yeah,
this is a massive account, so a huge win for them.
I want to dial in a little bit more on what the review, what was the reason for the review? You touched on it, a new era of AI, but when they were doing the pitching process, like what were they asking for? What were they looking for? What was the change that caused this review?
The job to be done was clear, which was to reclaim IBM's leadership in enterprise technology and show the world how IBM creates smarter business. And so they couldn't have been more clear with that. And then what they were looking for from us was that intersection of creativity and technology.
How are you planning to work together, all kind of under the Stagwell brand?
When you think about a brand today, you have to be both machine consumable and human relatable, right? And, I think bringing our two agencies together at first was like, how's this going to work? But it just worked. I mean, there were no egos and it just magic happened. It was great.
It was in the Ad Age article, it said, before the introduction of AI, IBM's marketing creatives spent 80% of their time on derivative assets. And now that has been reduced substantially to below 40%. So my question to you all, now that creative work is going from 80 to 40% potentially with AI, where, Toby or Craig, will your creatives be spending that reclaimed time?
The thought that there's like this extra time that all of a sudden has magically, there is no extra time. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever worked this hard in my entire career. And I could honestly say we're some of the most forward-thinking AI kind of like practitioners. There's no extra time. It's doing more because you need to do more. Period. That's it.
The core tenets, like our job is clear. We've got to make IBM meaningful. IBM is sitting on some of the best stories never told. So how do we bring those to the surface? So that's just brilliant classic storytelling, which is it's timeless in form, but like it may take other shapes. And Craig mentioned it before, like design and art direction. Going back to the Paul Rand days of that iconic design. There's such a rich legacy there that we want to honor that and take it into 2027 with a kind of real impact. And so some of those like really quite traditionally core skills are ones that are more relevant for this brief than ever.
Stagwell, some momentum recently. IBM, Mondelez, Hershey, Allwyn, you guys are on a heater right now. What's the secret sauce behind it?
Our view on the world is not necessarily to diminish our brands or to collapse our brands. Our view is to celebrate our brands, and we each do something very, very unique. I think that together we're better, and clients are recognizing that, and they recognize that Stagwell is right-sized, but also I think right for the moment.
Basically, we have an independent agency based in Sausalito. That's the Bay Area, if you didn't know. It's super nice there. And this independent agency is rather smaller compared to some of the bigger giants out there. They beat out 20 different agencies. BSSP said, we want to battle this out, and they ended up winning it for California Lottery. And that's a $550 million account for a 5-year partnership. That's like a relationship, if you ask me, Jack.
I've never signed up for a relationship that long.
What was the moment during that 9-month pitch process when you guys thought we've got this in the bag?
Well, it's funny, by the way, you should say that because 2 babies were actually born during this period. I think that we gained confidence at each stage because the client kept commenting on how much they could tell we liked each other as a team with our partners at Canvas Worldwide. By the time that we heard that in the final pitch for the 3rd time, we were feeling really confident that we were standing out, not only for our thinking, but really for our chemistry.
Side question. Is this the largest lottery in the U.S.?
So this is the number 2 lottery.
Who the heck is in front of
Texas?
Florida.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. They love lottery.
Yeah. We are number 2, but scratchers were number 1. Every single dollar that is made is going to the California schools and education. And last year, roughly, they sent $2.2 billion to this California school system. Every single dollar goes there. So there is also pride in the fact that we're going to be helping that along the way in the next 5 years.
And can you explain what the relationship with Canvas Worldwide is? That like the media partner?
Should have started with that.
Yeah, Canvas has been our partner for 9 years on some other clients that we work on. So we're very familiar with each other. Leadership knows leadership. We spend time together outside of new business hunting and pitching. And I think that showed up in the room.
Is it true that you all caravan from the San Francisco area to Sacramento? And if that is true, like, was there a playlist of sorts that you kind of coordinated throughout all the cars caravanning to the pitch meeting?
It was a nondescript white van. I don't know how many people like
Your
maxed out the
BSSP
van.
bus.
Yes.
Yeah.
In terms of the culture at BSSP, what do you think has been a reason why you've been able to build such like a fun, cohesive crew?
I mean, I think multiple reasons for that. I mean, the way you hire is critical, and understanding of obviously not hiring the same skill set and same type of person, but like how do we always feed into this culture with new thinking and new sort of people, right? But also, you talked about turnover. The people who pitched this business together, like we've been together at least 7, 8 years. So a lot of that also trickles down to the rest of the crew.
Gino, your thoughts?
I mean, I just love the idea of them caravanning. Oh, I mean, it's a big win for that agency. I love to see them win. So happy for them. Keep on growing. They're doing great stuff here. Who's doing great stuff as well on social media and in life is Zaria Parvez. Probably the best social media marketer since the dawn of the internet, ladies and gentlemen. You study her work, you've seen her stuff from Duolingo. Now she's over at DoorDash, and what do they got going on?
Well, there's Zlatan Ibrahimovic work that, every time a nation gets knocked out of the World Cup, Zlatan comes on DoorDash's social media and roasts that nation real quick. Simple.
So for the people who haven't seen it yet, what's this campaign all about? Give us like your pitch on what's happening right now.
Yeah, so essentially, the World Cup is probably one of the loudest and busiest moments that we're all in it and we're aware of. And our job as a social team and as a sponsor of the World Cup is like, how do we break through, especially as like a delivery platform? Like you think of the Adidas and the Nikes of the world, like obviously they're going to break through. It's their moment, it's their time. What are things that we can do to show that like we also are here and we're here to make noise? And I think one of the best ways to do that is to try to break the internet and go the opposite way and what other sponsors might be doing to really show up and show like how DoorDash can be that life assist during the World Cup and during any life moment, really.
As head of social, how did this all come to life? Did you brief an agency on this? Did you brief your internal team? Did you come up with the idea? Like, how does this work? Like, I think it's so fascinating to figure out how the social component of all this stuff comes to life.
Yeah, so this is like a mix of internal and external work. We're working with Mojo Supermarket, who are fucking amazing, and I'm sure you guys know all about them, as well as our internal team here at DoorDash. And like, really, the big part of like our process was like, who is willing to like scare us in the pitch, and who is willing to make us laugh, who is willing to do the thing that's like we would just never think of. And Mojo like became like a very clear winner in that, and so they've been on the ground with us reactive war rooming to pitching ideas nonstop to like, hey, this opportunity came up, like, what do we do? And like this whole Zlatan idea came from like, okay, we're going to use him. But like also probably a lot of brands are going to use him. So what's the right way to go about it? And this whole reactive thing of if we can proactively plan reactive losses in a way that's only very Zlatan and very like delivered by DoorDash, it was a shoe-in for success, and it happened. Like I think it leaned into his personality. It was delivered by us. And you could kind of proactively plan this reactive because you knew all the people who are going to be in the tournament and just film whoever is going to lose, essentially.
And did you pitch external agencies for this specifically? Like, how did that go about?
I would say we had a very limited RFP for World Cup social in general, but it was interesting because we did have our own exclusive social agency. Like we had a bigger, broader marketing platform, which was done by Gut, which was called Deliver Us to Football. But we really wanted to bank in and like go deep here of like, what is a social first approach to this? Not just being like a brand sponsor.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge moment, and that makes a lot of sense.
Give us an insight how you all are thinking about social as its own media channel and how much you pour into it.
Yeah, like 110%. Like everyone knows this. We always say like social's no longer a distribution channel. Like we are not here to just repost like cut downs or whatever of the main like bigger campaign. It's its own ecosystem, has its own way people talk. Even if you use talent across the ecosystem, you can use it differently. But like social has its own language. It deserves its own budget. It deserves its own productions. It deserves its own agencies, its own RFPs. Like just the same way that we would treat like classic linear. Like I think social is now kind of becoming and stepping into that space. So like, what are the places and the people you have to put in place to make that happen? And so I think DoorDash, especially with the World Cup, really did that with like We are going to do our own separate social first campaigns. We are going to still be under our major platform of Deliver Us to Football, but like we're okay with straying away a little bit.
First off, I want to start by saying that I could never do this. I'm way too afraid. So applaud to you and the whole team for getting this done. It's so great. But which country scared you all the most to troll?
Norway, like we know Holland, right, was so loved, especially on the internet, and like in this moment became like the internet's favorite golden child. So like that one, we're like, okay, let's be careful with how we phrase it. So there is like some walking and towing the line of like enough to be cheeky, but not enough to like piss people off.
A big part of this is always like the social team. You can have a great idea. This is for any creative pursuit, but like you can have an amazing idea and really want to do it. But at the end of the day, like you have to, the whole organization has to be on board for it. So for the social media marketers out there that are working in a brand, that are trying to get their leadership or whoever has to sign off to say yes to their amazing, crazy ideas, what would be your advice to them?
So this is advice that I have for my boss, and I hope she's listening, but it was like the best thing for me, especially coming to DoorDash, was know who your daddy is. A lot of people are going to give you feedback and try to push back and be like, we don't know about this. But you only really have like a couple of daddies in your company, which is like your boss and probably your boss's boss. So like focus on them and like filter out the feedback that doesn't matter. But yeah, be very clear and particular about who your daddy is.
But that was the show, Gino. I'm excited for tomorrow's show. Another great episode. We'll be coming to you live at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Anything you want to say to the people before we sign off?
Missed you all. So glad to be back. We have a lot of fun. We'll see you tomorrow.